This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Welcome once again here on Church of Uganda Family TV. Here we are with Issues at Hand, powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best. Today is a fresh day. Of course, we were told and we have always been reminded that there is no factory in this world that manufactures blood. So where do we get the blood from, especially if you get into a challenge and you need the transfusion? Where should your blood come from? Those are some of the things we want to get into, but we want to look at the advantages. However, there are also challenges and myths surrounding blood donation. So by the end of this show, you should have had these questions answered. Today, we are glad that we have Mr. Brian Kasozi. He is the Electronic Blood Recruitment Officer at the Nakasero Blood Bank. Before we came on air, I was asking him how he does his work, but probably he will share with us briefly how he does his work electronically. But join me as we welcome him. Mr. Kasozi, it's a pleasure having you this morning.
Thanks for hosting me. Good morning to the viewers. My name is Kasozi Brian. I work with the Uganda Red Cross Society, and I'm an officer e-recruitment, electronic blood donor recruitment. And in electronic recruitment of donors, what we usually focus on is mobilizing and sensitizing blood donors about blood donation using electronic platforms like calls, SMSs, and the social media platforms where we usually have our youths. Because the first thing they usually do is look at their phone when they wake up in the morning. So we usually draft messages and send to different platforms, WhatsApp, TikTok, and other social media platforms so that we can mobilize. After mobilizing these donors, they come and donate the blood. Then we recruit them. We are going to look at also what are our roles, what is our mandate. As Uganda Red Cross, our mandate is mobilization, sensitization, and recruitment. Okay. So we have another partner called Uganda Blood Transfusion Service. Yes. And their mandate is blood collection and processing. So the first thing is we mobilize these donors. After mobilizing, we sensitize, because people think that they know, but sometimes they don't know. So someone comes and donates, sometimes they get complications, reason being that that person did not have enough information before donation. Let me give you an example. Usually we collect our blood from schools, most of the times. And usually during the holidays we face challenges, like now. Sometimes we face blood shortages. So when we go to different schools, those students come, and the start age for the students is 17. Sometimes you find a person who is 16 coming to donate. And sometimes they get some complications. So before we usually have those sessions, we talk to them, we tell them what are the requirements of someone to donate blood and what are some of the benefits of donating blood. Then they voluntarily come and donate. It is an act of voluntarism.
Okay.
We don't tell a person that it is a must that you should donate. No, it should come from the heart.
Okay.
And that is the reason as to why the numbers are still low. Even some people fear.
Oh, of course, that's the greatest problem. That's the greatest problem, or we know people fear, and people have a lot of misconceptions when it gets to blood donation. But like I said earlier, that you're here to answer some of these, probably representing them, the face of our viewer out there. But to start from the first thing, why should we donate blood? Because that is one of the commonest questions. Why do I have to donate my blood?
Okay, that is a good question. To answer that, I'll take you back to a hospital setting. In the different hospitals around Uganda currently, we have persons that are dying now because they don't have blood. That is the fact. When you collect this blood, we can only collect 80% of what we should be collecting. The World Health Organization stipulates that any country should collect 1% of its total population. So currently, I think in Uganda we are, 45.9 million people. So when I round off to the nearest whole number, that is 46 million people. And that means we should collect 460,000 units annually. And on those units, we can only collect 80%. That means the 20% could be seen as a number, but that is life lost. So why should one donate? Number one, we are saving people in hospitals. That person you are saving might be a brother, a sister, a mother, or a father, or a son. Because usually, the biggest percentage of the blood collected usually goes to the bleeding mothers in hospital and the children. So why should one donate? We are saving lives. And you know, we don't have a factory that manufactures that blood. So people usually looked at blood as a drug. That it can be manufactured somewhere. Last time we are the other side of Kabla. There is a county called Kabla, that side of Jantonde. So people are saying, why can't you take blood from cattle? Because they have cattle. So human blood cannot be replaced by any other thing. Human blood is human blood. And we cannot say that we are going to get blood from cattle and transfuse it to human. Okay. So the reason as to why we donate is to save lives.
Okay. Yep. That's really very important. But also associated to why donate, someone would say that when shall I ever use the blood that I donate? Because I think that is also another thing. You know, sometimes we encourage people to donate, reflecting on the number of accidents and what. Someone is like, when shall I ever benefit from the blood I donate?
Yeah, true. So usually, you never know. The reason as to why, sometimes when you go to the field, people say, you are the only bank that gives refreshments. So, the reason as to why it is called a blood bank is, if at all you donate your blood, it is like saving with us. And you never know what can happen next. So usually people donate, we keep that blood for them, but sometimes that blood is, the blood you donate is not the blood you're going to get when you are in need. So when someone asks you, when will I ever need this blood? You're going to get sick someday. We have diseases like malaria, we have sickle cells. Those people need the blood. One day you're going to be walking on the street and you're going to be knocked. You never know. An accident can happen. So you will need that blood. So what we usually do is collecting that blood from you and putting it in the blood bank. We give that blood to the person in need, and when you need that blood, it is like a loan. We have to get that blood for you.
So how do I know, how do I claim for the blood that I donated in times of need?
Yeah, that is a good question. Now, usually people ask us, that when you go to hospitals, they usually tell us that the blood is not there. And I think it is related to our sensitization campaigns that we don't usually tell people where to go when they need the blood.
Yes.
Because sometimes in the hospitals they are tossed. That is the fact. You go to certain hospitals, they'll tell you that they don't have the blood. And in actual sense, blood is there. So when they need the blood, they can usually come to the blood bank, that is one, or they can call Uganda Red Cross. We have toll-free lines.
Anyone or only those who have donated?
No. So that is the perception that people have, that the people they give the blood are those people that donate. No, because we have a category of people that cannot donate in life. Like people with chronic illnesses like sickle cells. That person will never donate in life, but they do need the blood on a regular basis. So usually we donate for them, and when they need the blood is there. So don't say that I have never donated and you leave your patient to die. You just call our toll-free numbers. It is 0800 211 088. It is toll-free.
Again?
It is 0800 088 211.
Okay.
Yeah.
24/7?
Yeah, it is on 24/7.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is toll-free. So you call, you tell us the hospital where the patient is, then you tell us the blood group. Usually, sometimes you also ask for a blood transfusion form or a blood request form. That form is written by the doctor, stipulating the number of units that the patient wants and their blood group.
So does this apply for only people who are within Kampala Metropolitan, where your headquarters are, or everywhere in the country?
No, it doesn't apply to Kampala Metropolitan. We have different regional focal persons in the different regions, and we have what we call regional blood banks. So the blood bank we have at Nakasero, it is just the headquarter. But we also have other blood banks in Masaka, Fort Portal, Mbarara, Arua. Around the country have different blood banks.
I also saw one in Bali.
If at all you need blood, you can just call us. What we do is coordinating with those responsible people to make sure that they get you the blood in time. And usually, when you go to hospitals, they'll tell you, they have a funny way of soliciting money out of the patient. They will tell you that, you know what, the blood is not there, but if at all you can get us like 100K for fuel for ambulance, we can rush and get you the blood. After giving them your 100K, they'll just produce the blood there and then, and you will say, I have not seen the ambulance moving. So where did you get the blood from? So you should not be cheated, and that is the reason as to why some of our blood donors no longer donate. They face those challenges in hospitals. So when they face those challenges, you go back to them telling them to donate, they will tell you no. We face these challenges to get the blood, and we are donating this blood for free. So when they face those challenges, going back to them to convince them to donate.
Now you're the blood recruitment officer. you have
yeah. Usually I even craft messages about such incidences. Okay. And I usually also tag on the different toll-free lines and the different channels where they can get assistance, because we know it happens. Back then it was not much as it is now. But now, I don't know what is happening with our medical officers. And usually, for the donors, they don't know that Uganda Red Cross does not have a hospital. And they don't know that UBTS, or Uganda Blood Transfusion Service, does not run a hospital. If at all they face those challenges, they'll come back to us. They'll tell us, Uganda Red Cross, you sold blood to me. Uganda Blood Transfusion, you sold blood to me.
Exactly, because you're the bank. I banked my blood with you, and when I needed my blood, you charged me.
I think that is the reasoning. But usually what happens is that after processing the blood, there are different things that they look at when processing. But
I think I should get into those things. But to start with, we are calling upon people to donate blood, and we've seen very many campaigns around Loom Street, around, I mean, very many places. Very many times we see them at City Square there. But the question is, what are the requirements of donating this blood?
The requirements are quite simple. Usually I also get calls, people ask me, doctor, usually they call me doctor, even if I'm not a doctor. Doctor, I want to donate blood, what should I do? The requirements are simple. You should be medically fit. That is one.
Medically fit?
Yes.
Can you expound on that?
When I say medically fit, you should not have any chronic illness.
Okay.
And you should not be on medication. Sometimes you're on medication, maybe for malaria, for flu. You cannot donate. You should be 17 years and above. 17 is the start point. Then if I told you are a regular donor, you can go up to 65. If I told you are not a regular donor, you can go up to 60.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then you should be weighing 50 kgs and above.
Why 50?
Why 50? Because we look at we have what we call HB, and we know in a layman's language the HB can mean the level of blood in your body, and sometimes we equate that to your weight, and we don't want. And when we usually ask you such questions, because we have a questionnaire, we usually ask a lot of questions. The reason that's why we ask those questions is for your safety. Because what we look at is the donor safety and the safety of the patient. And in the donor safety, we look at you, the person donating. If I told you donate this blood, are you going to be okay? Will you be safe? If I told the answer is yes, after asking you all those questions, you say you can donate. If I told the answer is no, I shall tell you that you cannot donate. And sometimes people come and say, for us we don't have enough blood. And I usually ask them, how did you get to know that you don't have enough blood? They usually tell us, Musawa, and we say, how did you know that you don't have enough? So usually we carry out tests to confirm that this person cannot donate or this person cannot donate. Then on the side of the donor safety, the patient safety, we look at, is the blood that you are going to transfuse okay? Is it free from diseases? So people usually ask us, if at all I have HIV/AIDS, can I donate? And we usually tell them no, because we are looking at the patient safety, because we transfuse safe blood.
In a layman's understanding, someone would say, okay, if I have HIV, can't this blood at least help another patient who is also HIV?
It is not quite my field, but I can explain it in the layman's understanding.
Yes.
That when it comes to HIV, we have what we call viral load. Each person who has HIV has a different viral load, and we would not like to get someone's viral load onto yours. So even if you have HIV, still we are going to give you safe blood. Safe blood for your safety still. Yes.
You've talked about the requirements, and somehow you talked about people who can't donate blood. But are there any other categories of people who can't donate blood?
Yeah, we have categories.
Okay.
Like we have pregnant mothers, and usually in that process of pregnancy, we know that that baby is formed from blood. So you cannot donate blood when you are pregnant. 2, we have those people that are breastfeeding. They cannot donate blood. Then we have those people with chronic illnesses. HIV, we have sickle cells. Those people with sickle cells cannot donate. Then
all chronic illnesses, or only those you're thinking about? Because I look at someone who has diabetes, or someone who has hypertension.
Those are all chronic illnesses. Also, you look at asthma. So you look at a process when someone has asthma, that person cannot donate. They usually tell us, Musawa, I can donate, but no. Because we look at that situation when you are donating, then all of a sudden you collapse. Then we have to rush you to the hospital. So usually, as I termed it, donor safety. We usually look at your safety. Then I met a lady. That lady has sickle cells. But she told me, Musau, I want to donate. And I asked her why. The lady told me, I have been receiving transfusions ever since I was a child, and now I want to give back. So I told her, the only thing that you can do is to mobilize other people to come and donate. But for you, you cannot donate because of your condition. And that lady understood it, and she's now helping us to mobilize others. And when we have these mobilization campaigns, she always comes and mobilizes other people to donate because she knows the value of blood. Some people look at blood as blood, but us we look at blood as life. Because blood is that component in your body that transports oxygen. And when the supply of oxygen goes low, that means you are almost dying. So blood to us is life. We look at it as life. Yeah.
There's a lot of fear when we donate our blood, and because we've seen very many people, some donate their blood and then after a few hours some collapse or some start getting funny effects. The question is, what happens? We start with this person who has donated. What happens after donating? What should they expect that onto their lives?
Usually, what we look at when we look at what happens, we look at this donor after donating blood.
Yes.
But before, you talked about what should I term them as? People collapsing after donation. There are two reasons as to why it happens. Number one, when they lie during the questionnaire. Because usually you have nurses that usually ask them. So if I told you lie about your medical history, it happens. Then too, some people you ask them, still it is related to the questionnaire, have you eaten something before coming to donate? They'll tell you, Musawa, yes, I have eaten. And in actual senses, they haven't. So usually what makes people faint is the low supply of oxygen in the body. Because when they draw out some blood from you, that means the levels of oxygen go low. So if at all you are medically okay, it won't affect you. If at all you have eaten something, it won't affect you. But if at all you lie during the questionnaire process, it will happen. And we usually have volunteers on site and medical persons on site to give you first aid for that. Yes. Then after, what happens, we usually tell the person, if at all you have donated blood, you go and sit with the doctor. Ask the doctor about your results if at all you have donated before. I don't know why people usually donate and fear getting their result. I don't know. Because they will tell you, I'll give you the blood, but I won't come for the result. If at all you need the blood, I'll give you. But when it comes to picking their results, they don't want.
How does someone picks the results? Because I look at a situation where, for example, today I donate blood from William Street here. Then the other time, if I'm donating, I donate it from Mokono. And then how do I follow up with these results?
Okay. Sometimes I get calls of people asking me for their results. And I want to make this clear. We don't give results on phone. No. I'm handling the e-recruitment part of it, electronic, but I cannot give you a result on phone. Reason, we have what we call donor privacy.
Okay.
The person is on phone, I cannot tell that this is the real owner of the results. Because usually what we ask is that strip we give you with a unique number.
Yes.
Even if you donate from Kampala, even if you donate from Bali, even if you donate from Mwakiso, we have a central system where your results are stored. So when you come to the blood bank or when you visit any donation point, we have people there, they have their phones, they can access the database. After verifying that the person who is taking these results is the owner of the results, then also we have that process of counseling. We cannot just give results like that. We have to take you through the counseling process.
Okay.
Then we prepare you for the results. Then give you the results.
Ugandans have a funny thinking that each time you start with counseling, then the results should be negative. Well, we are taking a short commercial break. Sorry, the results should be positive. We are taking a short commercial break. When we return, we shall pick it up from there. Kindly stick with us.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Welcome back from the break. This is Issues at Hand, and this is our second part of the show. We are looking at blood donation. It is really very, very important that you donate blood, but we cannot rule out the unanswered questions and the fears that you have out there when it gets to blood donation, and those are the ones that we are answering today. We are with Brian Kasozi, who is the electronic blood recruitment officer, and he's taking us through, he's helping us answer some of these questions associated with blood donation. Brian, yes. Before the break, you were actually telling us what happens after donation, and you had talked about some of these people who lie. You know, some people, especially with students, they like the biscuit and soda that you give, so they will of course lie because this is a once in a while opportunity probably. But anyway, let's look at now for someone under normal circumstances, what should happen?
After donation, we also give you refreshment.
Okay.
So usually what they tell us that, Musao, for me I don't want the refreshment. It is not a formality. Usually we give you that refreshment.
Is it a sort of bribery, the refreshment?
It is not bribery. That is the reason as to why we always look at something that you cannot equate to money.
Okay.
Because people usually ask us, if at all you donate, why don't you give us money? We look at something because the World Health Organization stipulates that you should not pay donors. They should be voluntary, non-remunerated donors. That means they should not be paid. So when we give you something to eat and something to drink, that is for your safety. Because you have picked some of your blood out of you, then we want to balance the glucose in your body. That is the reason that's why we give you a soda and a biscuit. And of recent, we want to introduce biscuits with salt because they also help. Usually we give these biscuits with sugar, but now we want to introduce those biscuits with salt.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting. But now, why do you again end up deferring donors?
For the donor deferral part of it, we have so many reasons as to why we defer donors. It starts with the questionnaire also. Usually ask a lot of questions. They are around 30 questions. So if at all during the interview process we find out that you have some underlying reasons that can cause damage to your life, we usually defer you. For example, if at all you ask someone, are you HIV positive? And they tell you yes, automatically you have to defer. Do you have any chronic illness? The person will tell you yes.
How about if someone, for example, some people don't want to freely disclose their status. Someone will say, no, I'm not, even when they are.
Usually have qualified people trained to do that.
Okay.
They ask you, but if at all you still insist and lie, we usually take that blood, and usually they ask us, Musa, why do you usually take our blood before you test? That is the question they usually ask. And the simple answer to that is usually we don't carry out tests on site. Because for some of the people will tell you that, Musao, I usually want to test for HIV before I donate. We have a machine at the blood bank that usually handles 1,000 samples at the same time. So after you donate that blood, usually during the process of donation, you will see the nurse will pick 3 samples from the blood bag, and they'll put those samples onto the blood bag. Those are the samples we pick. Why are they 3? Because we have different diseases we usually test. So we have a machine, and it is very accurate. even if you acquired HIV 2 days before, it will show that this person is HIV positive. Then the results will be available after 2 weeks, and you get your results. So if at all you say that for me, maybe you don't know, you can say that I'm HIV negative, not knowing that you contracted the disease, still our machine will be able to know. Then when we find out that we have positive cases, we always take that blood and we burn. We don't just dispose of, we usually burn that blood.
Okay.
Yeah, because usually they ask us, Musa, where do you put our blood? We don't keep your blood, we just burn the blood.
Well, I think I diverted you a little when you were telling us some of the reasons as to why patients are deferred.
Yeah. Then other reasons, still, I'll take you to the questionnaire. We have people that are breastfeeding. We have people that are pregnant.
I think you specify the people who are breastfeeding. We have people who are exclusively breastfeeding, and we have that one who says, so may I breastfeed maybe once a day, or so they don't really consider themselves as mothers that are breastfeeding.
So usually we look at a period of 1 year. If at all you have breastfed for 1 year, you can donate. But if at all it is not yet 1 year, you cannot donate. Then for the pregnant mothers, they cannot donate. People with any chronic illness, we usually term them as medically unfit. Then people that are on any medication, diabetes, pressure, you cannot donate. We usually defer you, and people that are having these diseases like HIV, usually defer you. And sometimes when they come also to pick their results, when they're having any chronic illness, we usually take them through that counseling process, and we usually assign to them, or we refer to them to a facility that handles that, because we have different facilities that handle different cases. We usually refer to them to get that medical attention. We don't just leave them as you can go. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after the questionnaire, I've answered all the questions, and probably you find me deemed to donate the blood. What are the screening tests that you do to the collected blood that maybe can help out ensure that the blood you are to send out to a patient out there is really safe?
We have 3 major tests.
Okay.
We usually test for HIV, we usually test for syphilis, and we usually test for hepatitis. And when I talk of hepatitis, the cases are for hepatitis B and C. So if at all your blood is free from those diseases, it is good for transfusion. If at all we find one, we just ban. And among those diseases, we have those that can be treatable. We can tell you, or we can refer you to a facility that can give you medication for such. And we have those ones that cannot be treatable. And usually we refer you to also other medical facilities that handle that to get that support. Okay. And you continue with life.
Okay.
Yep.
As someone who is in the electronic recruitment, what are some of the myths that you find around the donation? Because this is now the real thing. There are very many myths out there.
Yeah, there are very many, but I have one that I picked interest in. They usually come and say,
Nene.
Nene. And usually I tell them that if I told someone pricks you, do you feel the pain or you don't feel the pain? They will say, yes, Musa, I feel the pain. So that is the thing. Usually, the reason as to why we have a big needle is to make the blood flow faster. That needle usually equates to the size of the vein. So if at all you have a small needle, blood cannot flow into the blood bag. So if at all you have a needle to the size of a vein, that means blood can flow normally as if it is in the vein. So the bigger the needle, the quicker the flow. If at all the needle is tiny, that means you're going to have what we call blood clots. And the reason as to why they feel that pain is because as a normal person, if at all someone pricks you on the skin, you have to feel the pain. And you only feel that pain if at all the needle is entering into your vein. After it has entered, you won't feel the pain. So usually, for our first-time donors, we just tell them that if at all you have any fear, just come, sit, look at the process. After gaining confidence, then you can donate. Then you have also other people that don't want you to look at the blood. They'll tell you, for me I would donate, but I don't want to see blood. And sometimes they even faint if at all they look at the blood. So usually
Others vomit.
yes, usually we put the blood aside where they cannot see the blood from, then they donate. After donating, there you go. Then also,
How much blood is collected from a person at a time of donation?
they usually collect 430 mils, not even half a liter. So usually they come and tell you, so you pick a lot of blood from us. The reason as to why you see that the blood is a lot is because, I won't use a scientific term, let me use a term they usually use. We have preservatives in that blood bag that give the blood safe. So usually this blood we collect can be stored for 35 days. But in Uganda here, we cannot have blood in the blood bank for 2 days. That is the demand. The demand is high and the supply is low. I told you that we can only meet 80% of the needs. That means we are looking at bridging the gap, the 20% that is left. Yes.
Well, you talked about blood being sold and all that, but should someone access blood, if at all these other formalities are taking long, can someone access blood in a pharmacy? Or it is only one place that should offer blood?
For a pharmacy, pharmacies don't usually transfuse. Pharmacies sell drugs. And we have also hospitals that don't transfuse. So we always tell our blood donors that you go to a transfusing facility. We have those hospitals. Someone can wake up one day and say, I'm starting a hospital. Usually we give those hospitals licenses to transfuse, to carry out transfusion. And those hospitals that we give licenses, those are the hospitals that come to the blood bank to pick the blood. So if I told you have your patient somewhere in a certain facility, you first ask them, are you transfusing facility? If at all they tell you no, just take your person or your patient to a hospital that usually carries out blood transfusion.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the bit of selling, blood is not for sale
Whatsoever.
But what usually happens, if at all the supply is low, it happens. Why? You go to a transfusing facility and they tell you your patient is of blood group O minus, and that is a bit rare. And I tell you we don't have that blood. But if I told you get us this much, we can improvise and get you the blood. So usually, out of people are desperate. They see their patient is there, about to lose their life, they'll pick the money and they pay. And why do they ask for that money? It is because we have scarcity. But we don't advise people to buy that blood. And that is the challenge.
Even in moments of scarcity.
Yes, that is the challenge we face in communities. If I told you solicit money from your pocket and pay for the blood, do you get a receipt? Even when they give you the hospital bill, they will never indicate a receipt for blood transfusion.
Exactly.
So, I think they always cheat our donors. But if I told you face such challenges, you just call us.
Okay.
We are committed because we know you are the people who come to the community. You will never see any transfusing facility, I won't mention names, but you never see any transfusing facility or hospital coming back to the community saying that we have come to collect blood. It is either the blood bank or Uganda Red Cross that will come to you to ask for the blood. And those complaints are not made to the hospital admins, they They are made to Uganda Red Cross and Uganda Blood Transfusion Services. But they are buying the blood from hospitals. So, I want to make it clear, we don't have transfusing facilities. For us, our role is to make sure that you have adequate blood in times of need. Even if the blood is not there, sometimes it is true, they can tell you that the blood is not there. When in the blood bank, we don't have that blood group. But what usually happens, me as an electronic officer, I have a database of donors. Usually, if they tell me that we have a certain patient in Nakasero Hospital of this blood group, it is my duty to go into the database, pick out those donors that are due to donate of that particular blood group. If at all they don't have transport, we already send our ambulances. They go, pick those donors, bring to the blood bank, they donate, they process the blood, that blood is given to your patient, free of charge. Even you don't pay us fuel.
Wow.
So, blood is not for sale. And the person selling and the person buying are all doing a mistake.
They're doing the wrong thing.
And when you usually ask them, the reason as to why they bought, they won't tell you. And if at all they come to you and tell you that we bought the blood, and you ask them, can you show me that particular doctor or nurse that asked you for the money? They won't show the person to you. They will tell you, so for me I bought the blood, but what did you want me to do? So if at all they face those challenges, we are committed 100%. We are going to get our vehicles, bring the blood to the transfusing facility. Because it is quite uncertain that a person donates, let's say, 60 times. That person gets an accident, they require the blood, and you tell that person to buy the blood.
That's the
It is so unfair.
issue now. Well, as we draw closer to the end of this discussion, and the other thing which is also common out there in the community is that blood and under normal circumstances is expected to be warm. Why is it that when they are bringing blood for transfusion, it is extremely cold? Isn't it dangerous?
Okay. Usually, when we draw blood from your body, it is usually warm. Yes. But after drawing your blood from your body, we take that blood to the blood bank. It is processed and it is kept into our fridges. Usually that is where the coldness comes from. So during transfusion, you feel every single drop. That is why you usually call it a drop of life. You feel every single drop of blood that is being transfused into your body because it is cold. And the moment you receive the transfusion, that is when you gain your life back slowly by slowly. Because I have ever interviewed someone who was transfused. That person told me, when you receive the transfusion, you feel each drop and you feel life again. Personally, I have donated so many times, but I have never been transfused. And usually I ask myself, when will I ever need this blood? But I keep on donating. The reason as to why I keep on donating, and for me, I usually take myself to be safe. Reason being that my blood group is a universal recipient.
Okay. There is this condition that they used to tell us days back that when you donate and given that card, so in any time you need blood, or any time you have a patient and you give them that card, it is very easy for them to get blood compared to someone who doesn't possess this card. Is that a measure of someone to get blood quickly?
It was working back then, but these days in hospitals they don't look at the card. I don't know why. They are always looking at the money component of it, the money bit of it. But if at all you have that card, you bring that card to the blood bank, they'll give you the blood, even if the blood is not there. And we also have those people, because some people are attaching a card to receiving blood, but you have those people that also cannot donate. Those people we talked about with small cells. So even those people without the card, we shall get blood for them. It is our mandate.
What are your closing remarks as we end this discussion?
My closing remarks is they're quite simple. I'm just telling people to come and donate blood if at all they can. We have those people that cannot donate, but if at all you can, you come and donate blood. Even if you are an organization, a company, you can always reach out to us. We shall come to your company or your organization and we collect the blood and we save the nation. Yes.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you so much, you, viewer. I believe from now, all you're looking for is now the next point where blood is being donated from. Please donate blood, because there is no factory that manufactures blood. Blood that saves other people is the blood that we donate. And you never know when you will need this blood or when your immediate family member will need this blood. How beautiful is it if you donated this blood, you kept it in the bank to help your mother, your father, your relative, or your friend, anyone. Because anyone, for example, like accidents, you never prepare for accidents. They happen anonymously. So please, let us all donate blood when we can, and I believe we shall be able to support all those lives that need our support. Thank you so much once again. Adrian Austin Mkalas is my name. I've worked with Andrew and Muhumuza, and from the entire team, we wish you a blessed day.
Issues at Hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives.
Through the valley, even if I'm lost in the shadows, I will not fear, for I know you are reborn. Please help me find him. Even if I walk through the valley, follow me wherever I go. I will not fear, for I know